Hey kids, today we're gonna do a little Jeep project. So I have a 2004 Jeep Wrangler. The Jeep Wrangler has a little bit of an issue where when it runs in the summertime and gets hot, the cylinders number 3 and 4 are surrounded by the exhaust manifold. And what happens is it vaporizes the fuel, and you go to restart it after running into the store real quick for a gallon of milk, and it sputters and coughs and spits and doesn't want to start, and it runs real rough, and you'll get error codes sometimes. Anyway, so the Jeep has this. Here is an old factory heat shield that they Mickey Mouse in here. As you can see here, 3 and 4 fuel injectors are completely surrounded by the exhaust manifold, and they just get so hot. This is your fuel rail, that the fuel vaporizes inside the fuel rail, and again, the issue that I explained. So I'd done some YouTubing and whatnot, and found that if you insulate it and insulate your fuel injectors, that you can mitigate the issue. Well, what I did was I bought this insulative material, and I wrapped the fuel rail with it, and I wrapped 3 and 4 with it, and it kind of helps. But when it gets really hot, and here in Florida it gets really hot, I'm still having the same issue. So I did some more YouTubing, and I found this product, Jeep Fuel Rail and Injector Cover Kit. So it's got a fancy manifold shield, fuel rail shield, and fuel injector shields, as well as new fuel injector O-rings, because we got to take the fuel injectors out in order to install this. There's kind of a view of it wrapped around one of the fuel injectors, and here's a view of it wrapped around the fuel rail along with the heat shield installed. So we're going to put that in today. The tools we're going to want to have for this are, you're going to want a fuel line disconnect. I just got this set. You know, it's really cheap, really affordable. At the auto parts store, it's got a bunch of different sizes. One of these two are the ones we're going to use. You want a screwdriver, you're going to want a ratchet, an extension. I found it, everybody. Look, quit looking. I found it. 10mm socket. I use air, so don't forget to oil your tools, make them last longer. 10mm wrench to break them loose, and you're going to want your trusty PB blaster. Let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come in here, and we're going to take off, and we're going to grab the tool we need. We're going to take off the air intake right here. Get it out of our way. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go around, and we're going to hit all the retention bolts that we need to remove with some PB blaster, because these things have been hot on the engine and probably haven't been removed since the engine was built. So I'm going to point out all the ones you're going to want to take off. You're going to want to hit PB blaster on your throttle cable bracket. So you've got 1, 2 there. All right, you're going to want to hit all the bolts that hold the fuel rail in. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 right there. All right, those are all the bolts that you're gonna have to take off. Now, you can also hit your fuel injector. That's your fuel injector. This is the plug. Here's your fuel injector. You can put a little squirt right into each one of these just so that they come loose nice and easy as well. All right, so here we go. So after the PB blaster has sat for, like 10, 20 minutes, half hour, whatever, come in with your manual ratchet and break them all loose, because they're going to be pretty tight and there's no reason to force on your air tool. You might need to use a wrench to get in and break them loose. All right, now we can go through with the air ratchet and pull all those out. All right, now we're just going to move our throttle cable bracket just out of the way. Don't have to get crazy about how we move it. And now we're going to pull the fuel rail bolts out. All right. So now what we have to do is we have to find the pressure relief valve, which is located under this cap. What we're going to do is we're going to get either a rag or some paper towels. We're going to get them under here to catch our fuel. All right, we're going to start like that. And then we're going to get this little cap off. So we got the cap off. Real careful not to mess it up. So it relieved the pressure. I forgot to mention, open your fuel cap to relieve the pressure in the fuel tank. All right. Now that that's off, we're going to pull the rag that's got a little bit of gas on it. Let that all evaporate out, and we'll get started on the next step. All right, so I found out that several of the Jeeps, different years, have different retainers on the fuel line. All right, because we got to take, here's the fuel line, we got to take it off. This is an 04, and this is a retaining clip. All right, we're gonna pop this off like this, nice and easy. Don't want to hurt anything. All right, pops off the back side, what I'm calling the back side. All right, and then it comes off just like that. All right, now we're going to use the quick release tool that we got. All right, so we've got the tool, right? We got the right diameter. It's just the one that's going to fit on there. I'm going to put it around the fuel line. I'm going to push this in like this. Hard to do with one hand. I'm just going to release the little internal clips. When you get it, the fuel line will come off, okay? Now that we've got the fuel line off, before we go taking everything else apart, what we want to do, here's our fuel injector, and that's number 1 fuel injector. Harness that goes to it, right? We're going to take us some tape. I don't care what you use. Duct tape, electric tape, glue, painter's tape, tape. I don't care how you do it. You go and put yourself a piece of tape on each one of these, all 6 of them, and label them. Do not forget this step. Got your fuel injectors labeled? All right. Please don't be this guy. So now we've got our fuel injectors labeled where they go. We're going to pop them off nice and easy and careful like. All right. So, according to the Haynes manual, there's 7,228 different variations of the fuel injector clip harness thing. All right. This is the 04. You look at this, and it seems pretty complicated on how you unlock it carefully. Now remember, these have been hot in the engine compartment for years and years and years and years. Plastic gets brittle. We don't want to break it. So, after very cautious, careful consideration, manipulation, I have discovered how the lock system works. So, this red clip needs to come up. Alright, it needs to come up before this can come off. So, you'll see in here that the red clip goes through this gray piece and blocks the gray piece from moving to unlock. Alright? Now, I have all kinds of conceivable key release contraptions. And I looked and looked and looked and looked. And I tried and tried and tried and tried. And I found this one. And I thought, whoa, that one looks like it'll work. But stick it into the only place that I could see where it would go. Back here. Alright. All it does is come out that end and lock it even tighter. That's not it. So, fortunately, the last mechanic that did anything to this wasn't me. Left one unlocked where I was able to get it off without having to figure out how it worked. So again, let's see if we can do this all one-handedly. Alright. So we've got this red tab here that needs to go. It's not in focus very good for you. Let's try this. Bear with me, bear with me. Okay. So this little red tab here has to move up so that the red, you see it's got a hook, so it's got to move up so that the red clip can slide back. Now, these turn very easily. Nice and smooth like. You see that turn in there? Okay. Show you again. See how it turns in there? No problem. Found with this little pick, I can reach in. Okay. See if we can show you here. Reach in and I can grab the red tab. And raise it up. See the red tab moving up? And then I can pull the red clip out. So again, I hooked it, raised it, and clip. The red locking tab pops up. Now you pinch down this gray piece. Okay, right here. Pinch that down, that's the lock, and it pops right off. Alright? Shit, Ed. Great. Where am I going to get a little hooky tool thing to do that with? Alright, calm down. I'm sure you've got one of these things. Alright? Paper clip. Check it out. I'm going to straighten out this paper clip. Alright? We're going to take a pair of pliers. We're going to make our own little hooky tool. Alright, we're going to grab just a little bit of it. Doesn't have to be big. Alright. Now let's go see if our homemade tool will work for you. Alright, let's see. We gotta get it in there, right in the middle. We gotta grab. Oh, what? What? I'll be damned. That worked. Now that we have all those plugs removed from the fuel injectors, all right, they'll be out of our way. They'll move out of our way for us. Now we're going to go ahead and pull all the bolts, retaining bolts for the fuel rail. Remember that time you bought that one really long extension, and you knew that one would always be the longest one you needed, but you saw one sitting right next to it that was a little bit longer? Today's the day you get to use it. Right now we're at a critical juncture. We're going to very carefully take the entire fuel rail. We're going to use both hands and we're going to rock it back and forth very gently, pulling out at the same time, very carefully. We don't want to damage our fuel injectors. We got it out. We take advantage of having it out, and we clean our injectors a little bit. The kit comes with new O-rings. We're going to take advantage and we're going to replace the O-rings on the fuel injectors. Fuel injector has two O-rings, one down at the end and one in here. Now up here we have a retaining clip that we want to take off. It's hard to do with one hand, obviously. Anyway, we're going to pop that off. Times 6. Old O-rings, flat, square, look like slot car track tires. New O-rings, round, happy. Put a little bit of silicone grease on each one so that they go back in nice and easy. Now we're going to do that 5 more times. And of course, I gave each one a cleaning and sprayed some carb and choke cleaner through it. And there you have it. Freshly serviced and cleaned O-ringed fuel injectors. There's the old O-rings. There's the silicone grease. Nice and clean. We replaced the pressure cap. Now we're going to get in here and we need to pop this rail off, which is our electrical rail, and it's got these little clips. We're just going to go around carefully, popping each one off all the way down the whole rail, and then it'll pop off just like that. Okay, set that to the side. Now we're going to pull our electrical out of that rail carefully. All right, because we need to pop this off. Now this comes straight up. Okay, careful. Okay, I'm gonna get a pry bar to pry this. It has to come straight up or you'll break the little tabs. All right, so we need to come in here. We need to pop you directly straight up. Let's see what we can do here. Nice. One. There's 2. And there's 3. All right. Nope, I didn't get 3 after all. I need to pop it up. Straight, straight, straighty, straight, straight. Up. Don't break any of the tabs. All right, so now this is out of our way. All in one piece, real nice. Set that aside. Now, this is the junk that was here before. We're gonna take this out of the way. All right. Now, what we want to do okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my air gun. I'm going to blow out each one of the fuel injector ports, which is the intakes. And we're going to clean that area off real quick. Turn the air on, Gatas. All right. So we're going to blow these out. Blow all the junk out real quick. And then we're going to install this guy. Alright, so I gave it a quick blow job. What did he say? Install this guy. So, it's like a glove. So, the way they have these is, I mean, they make such a nice product and then they kind of, this is going to wrap all like weird around and not really cover the injector as well as I'd like to see it. So what I'm doing is I'm adapting it a little bit. All right, so on the hook side, with the hook side on the inside, I'm taking about a ½ inch down. Now this is just me, I do not recommend you do this. I'm taking and cutting a little T. Like this. What that allows me to do is bring the plug, of course again, the old one-handed trick, through it. Then I can wrap it nice and tight. And what I do is I fold this guy in, because now the hook and loop don't match up, which is fine with me. Now, okay, gonna fold that in. I fold this in, and what it's doing is it's actually tripling up the insulation on the underside of the fuel injector, which is where all the heat's coming from. And then I'm zippity-doo-dah tying them, zip tying a top and a bottom zip tie on each one. I'll cut the tag ends off. All right, one last really quick little part. I thought I was recording, but I wasn't. I got it all put together and I didn't show you. So, let's just pretend that this is the long piece that wraps around the fuel rail, all right? And you saw how I fixed the injector wraps, but you didn't see how I had to fix the injector wrap, the fuel rail wrap. All right, so let's just say this is the fuel rail, right? We've got our injectors, we got our fuel line, and then we've got that pressure relief knob, all right? Apparently, they make this kit for multiple different years, which is fine, that's smart. But the wrap for a 04 Jeep does not have a hole for the pressure relief valve halfway up. So two things. The first thing is, because of the way I pre-wrapped all the fuel injectors before putting this on, I had to take scissors and cut just a straight line up each hole like this, just to the edge, so that I could wrap it around the injectors. All right, this is the fuel line hole. That one's fine. And then for this, you remember the T's I was cutting to get the plug of the injectors in? I just did the same thing here. I cut a T right there, and that was it. I was able to get it around the that pressure relief button. And then just wrap it real tight, and here's what it looks like. Here you go. One blanketed fuel rail. Now, replace your electrical channel. Snap, snap, snap. Push it straight down. Snaps right into place. Take the top, line up all the little tabs with the holes. Snap, 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 snap it in. All right, so we got this all snapped in. Now we've got our fuel rail with our injectors, with our new O-rings. Line them all up real nice with their holes, and then press them in, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle till they go in. All right, now I've got each one greased with some silicone grease. So I got it all lined up real nice, and I pressed firmly in to place. Okay, made sure all my wires were out of the way. And what I found was using the heel of my hand, once it was in place, making sure that I was lined up real good and everything was straight. I started at the back at number 6, and I gave it a little pop with the heel of my hand. Then I came to the next one and a little pop, and I could feel them pop in. Pop, pop, pop. And they popped in nice. Now remember, they're gonna get bolted in, so that should help. So now we're gonna bolt these all in, snap in the electricals, replace the fuel cable bracket, and reinstall the air line to the carb. Take all the tools out of the way and give it a test fire. Okay, we've got all our bolts in, just finger tight so that we know they're threaded good. We've got our numbered clips that are gonna go right back on. All right, I'm gonna press it down. You hear the click, real nice. And then the lock tab, click, real nice. Number 2, real nice. Okay, number 3, we can turn it a little bit. A little more. Click, click. Awesome sauce. 4, 5, 6. Okay. 4. Click. Lock. 5. That is 5, correct? Yes, 5. And on. Click. Lock. And number 6. Click. Lock. Alright. Nice and straight up and down. Everybody as they should be. Yes, snapped in. Alright, now we're going to tighten down. Oh, let's not forget this. Your fuel line. Put the fuel line back on and push it on till it clicks. The internal clicks. And don't forget, I don't know if yours has it or not, but there's this little guy. So, this goes on here. On the back side first. And then on this side, it just snaps on, and it makes sure, extra sure, that that fuel line stays put. Now, I'm going to tighten these bolts down. Make sure everything's connected hunky-dory the way it's supposed to be. Give it a good visual once over, put the air line on, and then we're going to give it a test run. Now again, this is, by the way, threaded into the exhaust manifold, which is aluminum. Steel bolt, aluminum threads do not over tighten. All right, everything's connected. Tight, 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 tight. Snap, 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 snap. No tools, no tools. Okay, fuel cap closed. All right, we're gonna fire it up. And then we're gonna go make sure there's no leaks. Gonna take a second for fuel to get there. Okay, fuel is there. It's running. Now we're looking for fuel leaks. That's just a little spitter spatter because it's getting fuel into the fuel line. Okay, fuel rail is now full. I smell nothing. No fuel coming out here. All the fuel injectors look good. I don't see any fuel. I don't smell any fuel. That's what I would get that giveaway, would be smelling fuel for sure. Looks really clean. It's a nice clean install. It's a nice clean kit. Oh, I did forget to snap these back into their place, so get you snapped back in here. Okay. Okay, you snap back in, there. Everybody is as it should be. Again, definitely don't smell any gas. Sounds really good. That's the way, I like it. Kids, there you go. Love y'all. Hope you liked it. I'll let you know in the comments if I have any other issues with heat. Otherwise, see you next time.